Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I can't wrap my head around this issue going on around the country about this squatting, people squatting, you know, people live in your house that when you without your permission. That is something that's going on. So the laws are kind of complicated to kick them out. I'm kind of confused, so I was looking around, and then I saw. I'm going to explain as much as I can what I found out, but
national headlines in the recent weeks, but what is the law here in Texas?
Fox's Jordan Elder talked with a homeowner in San Antonio who is having a squatter issue and what you can do to protect your property.
Squatters breaking into my house again through the window.
Abram Mendez and his wife bought this home and hired this man to do some tile work. They allowed him to stay a few days, even made him sign a contract saying it was...
Okay guys, so this is one thing that I found out, that do not ever give your keys to somebody. Doesn't matter, how long you let's say you knew that person for 10 years, you know his family well, you know his person, but it doesn't matter. Don't give key. For contract, working on your house, remodeling, whatever, do not give them key to anybody. Okay, do not trust anyone. Doesn't matter he has a multi-million-dollar company, is doing remodeling business. Don't care. Don't give the key.
short term, but now they say the man won't leave.
We're not talking even a month yet. I believe today would be a month, and he had his long game already in mind.
Mendez says the man has barricaded the front room of this house.
What?
He's claiming squatters' rights.
Yeah.
I did allow you.
So that a squatter, when he claims squatter rights, and I show you what the squatter rights are later.
I can show you his rights.
But attorneys we spoke to say that's not how squatters' rights work in Texas. They say the man is a squatter, but he hasn't.
So there's a squatter rights in Texas that to obtain, someone must the occupied property with curb title for at least 3 consecutive years, and they gotta pay property taxes and cultivate the land for at least 5 consecutive. Okay, we look at this. So someone has to go in your house, they gotta live there for years, and they gotta take care of this house, claim it as their property, and they have the right. So I kind of understand that a little bit, but I still don't understand how they claim these rights. So see,
Met all of these requirements to claim adverse possession, and the Mendez family is moving forward with an eviction.
He's not earning any legal rights or legal title to the property in that circumstance.
The intent behind adverse possession is to reward people who take care of property and put it to good use. It is not designed to reward bad behavior.
Hug and Bryant both assure you that squatters' rights are specific. People can't just enter your home and claim it as their own.
At least in Texas, that's not allowed.
This has been a hot topic across the nation recently, especially since a new Florida law ends squatters' rights.
I hope that it makes like a firestorm across the nation.
okay, that ends in Texas, and then I was looking at the difference between if someone comes, what's the difference between squatting and trespassing? Okay, so there's a main difference between squatting and trespassing, is that a squatter intends to live on the property while a trespasser does not. Okay, so if somebody come to your trespassing your property, let's say without permission, either briefly without the intention of staying, they can, cutting down trees, blah blah, coming down to your trespassing, and they might be doing something that you don't want them to do, but they are not staying. They don't mean to stay at your property. They're gonna leave soon, or whatever the crime they do, they're gonna leave. So might be a robbery. Right? We just kind of go through the kind of degrees. What is a trespassing? So this trespassing, squatting if somebody come there, they intend to live there. As they're gonna change the locks. They're gonna set up utilities and stuff like that. So they target a vacant building because they're less monitoring, easier to take legal possession of. Okay, so if you have a second home, let's say your vacation home, and you want to go vacation, you leave to, and you come back and somebody's okay at your house, okay, and what are you gonna do? So let's look at this. What are squatter rights?
Are not in fact squatters' rights. They are instead civil disputes over oral contracts. In America, oral contracts are just as binding as written and signed contracts. They are just much harder to dispute because it just becomes a case.
See what I said? See, when you give a key to somebody verbally, hey, okay, you can do whatever, maintain my house, change, remodel my house, and I want you to do this, do that, do that. Okay, you can stay there. Here's the key. No, that's a no. Okay, either it doesn't matter. You sign a contract, or verbally, do not do that. You want to give a key. So how can I give a key to somebody gonna go do my contract at my house? I remodel my house. A contractor. Look for some. I don't know. I'm not sure, but there's some kind of a property management companies that handle that. They probably requires who's the tenant, but you just some paperwork you just find a nice but legit property management company that handle that. Please do not give somebody your key.
Of he said, she said. If a family moves into an empty home, law enforcement is in most instances powerless to remove them. But this has nothing to do with squatters' rights. People just assume squatters' rights are at play here because the people taking the home are called squatters. The reason that police cannot bust them out of their home is because the squatting occupants can claim that the home is theirs, or that they are renting it, or that they have a private agreement in place with the owners to live there. Police officers are not judges, and they cannot and should not have the authority to make discretionary decisions about people's housing arrangements. That's the job of the courts. Needing to take squatters to court to prove that no oral contract was established is unbelievably frustrating, but it's better than the alternative.
So you can't call
the police. If you have a private agreement with roommates to pay a share of rent every month, you don't want to get thrown out on your ass by the police because your roommates are sick of you cooking fish in the communal microwave. Although, honestly, that should be considered a war crime. It's also not right that landlords could get police to kick families out of a rented home if they weren't able to provide suitable evidence of rights to residency right then and there on the spot. Think to yourself, if a police team busted into your home today and tried to kick you out, how would you definitely prove that you owned the place and weren't just living in there as a squatter? It's not that easy, and that's why we have courts. And while you're going to go through that court process, you would probably appreciate being able to stay in your home while you prove that you definitely do or do not have the right to live there. Actual squatters' rights cases are extremely rare. All of those stories are just legal challenges that needed their day in court. Okay, but what if you wanted to get a free house by exploiting these laws? How would you go about doing that? As a renter in the Bay Area, I will admit that thought has crossed my mind. Well, in America, it's almost impossible to get squatters' rights, with almost being the operative word here. To claim squatters' rights, you need to move onto a property that you reasonably believe to be your own. This is basically impossible in suburbs or cities because land holdings in these areas are well defined by fences and buildings. A patch of land directly adjacent to a poorly demarcated field is probably your best bet. Sometimes it's hard to know where your field ends and where your neighbor's begins. Mistakes happen. The second important step is that you...
That's where they target these house lands where not close to the neighbors, isolated. It's easy to get into. Nobody will notice. By the time you know it, they've been there for months.
You need to prove that you didn't have permission from the actual landowners to dwell on the property. This might sound counterintuitive, but if a landowner says it's cool for you to stay in their house, then they have acknowledged your lodging, and you have acknowledged their ownership. Think of it this way. If your friend came over to your house and they told you they would let you sleep in your bed, you would immediately challenge that statement by saying, "You're goddamn right, I'm allowed to sleep in my bed. It's my damn bed."
No,
if someone with no rightful claim to a land holding gave permission to the rightful landowner to use the land, the legal assumption is that the true landowner would challenge the assumption that the land is not theirs in court. So if you want a free house, you can't have permission to live in it, and you have to be able to prove it was reasonable for you to think that you owned it. You then need to maintain this status quo for the duration of the statute of limitations period in your civil jurisdiction. For California, that's 10 years. For other places, it's as little as 1 or as much as 100 years. Your mileage will vary. Once you have done that, the property is yours for all intents and purposes. If the previous owner challenges your claim, they won't be able to provide proof of ownership that falls within the statute of limitations timeframe. The same rules that stop a 7th-generation lord claiming medieval land holdings are the same rules that will stop
So this is how you're going to protect
situations, underscoring what a huge and unfair problem this has become.
So today, right now, Dan is teaming up with his 7 on Your Side partner, Nina Pineda, to look at ways to protect your homes and keep squatters out.
Yeah, we think this story is getting so much attention because for the first time, we're seeing a homeowner get arrested for defending her own property.
And I didn't even know this. You know, squatters have rights after just 30 days. It's crazy.
Just 30 days. Local and state lawmakers, after watching a report, are trying to change that, and they filed a new bill which is actually gaining traction. Take a look.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested.
For what?
For being in my own home.
When police arrested Adele Andaloro for changing the locks on her own home to prevent squatters from getting inside, she was charged with unlawful eviction.
That's a house. How can you get arrested? Oh man, how can you get arrested to kick the squatter out and then to let them quit living at your house and then try to do ways changing the locks? Okay, how you get kicked out from that? Okay, this is Florida changing the
law that now allows squatters to be thrown out of homes that don't belong to them.
Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill this afternoon in Orlando, and our Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders joins us now live from Tallahassee to tell us how all this will work. Forrest.
Well, guys, I can tell you this was not a very controversial policy. In fact, it was unanimously approved by the legislature earlier this year during the legislative session. And now, with Governor Ron DeSantis' signature, Florida becomes one of the first states in the nation to lean in on this issue.
They're not the owner.
With rental homes, second homes, and so many others, Florida is no stranger to squatters. In fact, just this week, Martin County Sheriff made national headlines warning of a viral video teaching squatters how to squat and circumvent the laws.
Crime is a lot like cancer. It spreads, and if you see it somewhere else, let's be on guard. Let's get ahead of it.
When someone is illegally occupying a vacant property, current rules require what can be a lengthy civil court battle to remove them.
All right, so here we go.
Wednesday, Florida's governor signed a new law to streamline that removal process,
providing very swift remedies, because what the squatters know is even when they're in the wrong, it's a massive process many times before they can be evicted, and a lot of times the process is very expensive.
Property owners will now be able to request law enforcement immediately remove a squatter if they entered illegally. They've been told to leave and haven't, and as long as they're not involved in a tenant.
Okay, so in Florida, so they said this is the first state they've passed this. If your squatter enter legally, you can call the police. If they have been told to leave and they haven't, you can call the police. And not a tenant involved in a legal dispute. Okay, so you can get the police involved, you can get the cops involved, kick them out. All right, guys. I haven't researched that much, but I'm going to do some more research. That I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Like I said, that I just feel bad for those people. Those are the rules, and let me tell you before I leave that this. Number one, guys, do not use force to kick them out. Don't shoot them. That's a no-no. Any kind of lethal force, don't even threaten them. You can't threaten them that you're gonna do something so they kick they're gonna leave. You can't do that. You can't threaten them. You can't use lethal force. And a lot of people mistakes. This third thing I want to say, that a lot of people make this common mistake, that they cut the utilities, electric, heat, water. You can't do that either. Sorry guys, I feel bad for you, but you can't do that. You get in trouble if something happens to them. They get sick and they die. You get in big trouble. So you can reduce to a certain amount of utility to I don't know how you can control that too, but I don't know if they're blasting your AC or the heat all winter and summer long, that's hurting your bills. I don't know if you can a way to but those are the things you can do. Okay guys, I pray that you don't get a squatter living in your house. It's winter time or summertime, or wintertime vacation home. Well, the thing is, guys, just go check. Most often they said, don't leave your property without being checked for a long time. See, I say 1 month it's okay, but 2 months too long. If you're staying away from another country, and then if you stay in another country, you have somebody to go check often. Pay somebody to. Another thing here, keys. When they go check, you need to give them the keys. So get somebody that you really trust, like your family member, your friend. I don't know. No. Depends who your friend is. Okay, then you will find out who your friend is. Okay, guys, that's enough for today for this squatting. Have a good one. See you guys later. Thanks for watching, and thanks for letting me share this video with you. Bye bye.